I come to you wearing another witch's hat that I made. This one doesn't have any decoration, it's just very red. And today I'm going to talk to you about non-fiction books I've read this year so far that I've really enjoyed. So it was only kind of like this year that I really started to like properly choose to read non-fiction outside of the like non-fiction and like literary criticism and stuff that I had to read for my degree, and I've been really enjoying it to lesser and to larger degrees. But yeah, so I just thought I would go through my favourites so far. I'm going to talk about them in chronological order that I read them, so starting in January or February, whenever I finish this. This is A Handbook of Disappointed Fate by Anne Boyer, who is a poet and an essay writer, and this is like a collection of essays. And it was only like recently when I was talking about this collection with a friend who had just read it that I kind of realised that I did really quite enjoy quite a lot of it. Obviously with essays, like there's definitely going to be hit or misses, but there are definitely some really great pieces in here that I definitely think are worth checking out. I've been particularly haunted by one essay which is called The Harm, which I just thought was like really amazing and like just really good. It's very short and it's really good. And there's also another essay in here that I had previously read outside of it that I love, which is called like Woman Sitting at a Typewriter or something, or Woman Sitting at a Machine, and it's about Karen Brodeen, a poet, and about working and sickness and capitalism. And there's like a couple threads of themes I guess throughout these, and the one that I'm most interested in is definitely like the sickness one, because that's often also correlated with like the way we think about time and the way we think about work and bodies. So I really enjoyed parts of it, and I like underlined a fair few things in here. Like my friend actually read my copy, which meant that they like saw all of my underlining and was like, but you didn't rate this very highly. The next book I don't have with me anymore because I'm lending my copy to somebody, and that's Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. I thought that some of this book was a little bit repetitive, kind of in the nature of like the book itself, but in general I found it just like to be really great and useful and just like very good to read like at the beginning of the year as a kind of like refresher and like hopefulness and like an uplifter or something in terms of striving to create the world that I want to exist in with other people, and thinking about like interpersonal stuff, wider stuff, communities, that type of thing. Definitely would recommend this if you feel really like hopeless about like the state of the world, and also maybe the state of like organising and like the movement near you or whatever. The next book I'm not going to talk about that long because I already have a video where I talked about it. That is Red Rosa, a graphic biography of Rosa Luxemburg by Kate Evans, and it's pretty much what it says on the tin. I really enjoyed learning about Rosa Luxemburg. I definitely found it to be like quite a dense graphic novel. Like it took me quite a long time to get through because there's quite a lot of text on the page, unlike sort of quite a lot of other graphic memoirs and novels and things that I've read before. So this is Care Work, Dreaming Disability Justice by Leah Lakshmi Piepzna Samarasinha. It's about disability justice, which is a like queer, disabled people of colour led disability justice, disability rights movement, but it kind of takes a step back from like disability rights framework, and so it's a lot about care and what it means to care and how to care in some ways, also just like some very practical things, and there's some stuff about healing, just like a whole range of things really, but all through the lens of kind of like disability. Starting with the bits I didn't enjoy, there's a couple of things in this book that I found to be kind of oversimplified, especially in the context of a couple essays where the term femme is used as like a useful gender category to talk about societal wide gender depression and specifically gendered labour, often what is termed emotional labour. And I have some issues with like I guess the haziness of both like femme and emotional labour in that context, because I mean they're both like terms with really specific meanings, and I don't think that necessarily means that they are useful in some of the conversations that we want to be having around labour and visibilising unwaged, invisible labour. Femme is a category that doesn't include straight women because it's like a specifically queer identity, queer label, queer set of behaviours, but obviously straight women do experience like gender depression, so it just sort of, I just don't get it. And I, as somebody who does identify as femme, like I really don't like the way that the word and the label has been like divorced from its sort of community, and there is literally a time when like femme is used to describe a straight woman in this book, which just made me feel like I just thought it was ridiculous. So yeah, those are the things I really didn't like. I just found that it got in the way a bit of some of the stuff that was being said. That being said, I did really love the first couple essays, and I think the last couple too, which were all about care webs as well as collective access and like accessibility. I just thought it was great. I actually like felt really touched by a lot of the stuff in this book, and I cried quite a lot reading it because it's very hard to be disabled in some spaces and to feel so uncared for, and this is so much about foregrounding the caring and the access, and seeing like access as a radical act of love, and seeing caring as this act of love that is so beautiful to me. I hope that all made sense. I feel like I have a lot of feeling. Also, I love the cover of this, it's really beautiful. The next book is one that took me a really long time to read. I did just like stop reading it because I find like political economy or like political economic whatever stuff really hard to understand a lot of the time, so I need a lot of energy and I just did not have brain space to kind of dedicate to this, but I thought it was really amazing, and that's Carceral Capitalism by Jackie Wang. So this book is about lots of things. It's about racial capitalism, carceral capitalism, it's about incarceration, it's a bit about prison abolition, it's about the way that policing is so predatory, especially towards communities of colour and especially towards black communities. It's all weighted in America, so it uses like case studies from there. Yeah, it's also about innocence and a little bit about gender. It's like Marxist. It's got this great essay called Against Innocence, which I know was circulated before people read this book, I think, which I would definitely recommend. I think you can find that online, and it's got this amazing bit at the back which is about prison abolition, and it's called like A Prison Abolitionist Imaginary, and it's so inspiring and hopeful and beautiful, and I just like, it's right at the end too, so you read all of these horrible things and then you're galvanised at the end and you feel hope, and I just felt like it really got me in touch with how much I like how desperately I want the world where prison is abolished, where the police are abolished, to exist. And yeah, it's very intense, but it's really good. I'm gonna leave like the Goodreads page below because I feel like I did a really bad job of describing it, because I just, yeah, I found like economic theory and stuff quite hard to talk about and like to understand. I've got a couple things I want to read next as like my non-fiction TBR list. One of them is like the Eleanor Marx biography, which I do have, but it's just like up there and it's very heavy, which is like 800 pages. I'm gonna try and read that this summer. I really want to read The Collected Schizophrenias by Esme Wagen Wang. I think there was a third one I wanted to mention too, but I can't remember. Can you tell I'm extremely sleep deprived? I can. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video didn't turn out to be too long, and I hope you're all having a nice day. Bye!